Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this July 18th regular meeting of the Zion City Council to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes? Here. Commissioner Patterson?
Here.
Commissioner Fisher?
Here.
Commissioner McDowell?
Here.
Mayor McKinney?
Here. Mr. Bremner, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Pledge allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Commissioner McDowell, would you lead us in prayer this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to read from Psalm 37. Do not fret because of evil men, or be envious of those who do wrong, for like the grass they will soon wither, like green plants they will soon die away. Trust in the Lord and do good, dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will do this. He will make your righteousness shine like the dawn, and the justice of your cause like the noonday sun. Be still before the Lord, and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when men succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. For evil men will be cut off, but those who hope in the Lord will inherit the land. Let's pray. Father, we want to thank you for this Psalm of David, written thousands of years ago, which is still applicable to us today. And so, Father, we want to turn to you and do good so that we might dwell safely in the land. And Father, you've placed us here in the city of Zion. We ask that you would bless us, we ask that you would prosper us, and we ask that you would give us wisdom tonight in our meeting. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right. Thank you, Commissioner McDowell. Item number 4, are there any agenda changes by any of the commissioners? If not, is there a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
Second.
A motion by Frierson and second by
It was a tie.
Holmes McDowell. Yes. All right. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Patterson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries. Item number 5, citizens' comments. I see that we have several people that are going to comment tonight, and some new faces here tonight, so I'd like to take the opportunity just to read the procedure for public comments at city council meetings. The opportunity to speak to the city council is provided for members of the public who have a comment to make about the business of the city. The city council appreciates hearing from residents and values your thoughts and questions. The council strives to make the best decisions for the city, and public input is very helpful. The city must protect the civility and decorum of this meeting. It is unlawful for any person to disturb or interrupt a meeting of the city council. Please be respectful of the duties of the city council and the democratic process in your comments tonight. Please state your name and address and address your comments to the council. Please limit your time to no more than 3 minutes. Please be factual and courteous, and the council requests that you not make statements that are personally disrespectful or condescending to members of the council or staff. Also, the last thing I'd say, the city council does not respond to comments or attempt to answer questions during the public comment period, but chances are they will be addressed if there's issues that are ongoing during the the departmental commentary towards the end of the meeting. All right, Mary Lou Hildebrand.
Wanted to ask, would that be McDowell? When you both went to McDowell?
Yeah.
Holmes?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, during the month of June, your ESDA volunteers served over 249 hours for a value to the city of $7,465. We assisted with the preparation and setup of Nostalgia Days and maintained the road closure and assisted with public safety and cleanup for that event. We assisted the fire department with traffic and rehab for 2 house fires and performed the monthly siren test. We supplied barricades for public safety for the trench at Esther's Well and supplied traffic direction and other assistance at the monthly food pantry in the New Tech parking lot. We did training and duty nights for maintenance of the Estes Center and vehicles. If you are interested in being a positive influence in our city, go to www.cityofzion.com and from the I Want To drop-down menu, choose Apply. We always welcome new members who want to make a difference. Thank you for your continued support.
All right, thank you, Mary Lou, for all that you and the Esther crew do throughout the city.
There.
All right, Jim and Yvonne, is it Kep or Keppel?
I'm here to ask what the situation is with the property on 928 Elizabeth and Shiloh. My wife heard breaking glass the other night, and she called the police, and they came out and they investigated a bit. And then later I learned that they actually caught the kids that were doing it. And I just don't understand why this property, which is an eyesore in the community, still is not dealt with. That's pretty much my question.
Okay, well, I'm sure we have the answer to that, and we'll address it in our public commentary, our departmental commentary. Thank you very much. Kathy Champagne?
I have a request, and I was wondering if the city council would consider using Board Docs, which is a program for uploading amendments and the attachments. That would make them viewable by the public, so people like me or other interested citizens could review the public part of the agenda, what's the public's allowed to read, and come to you with informed questions before you vote. We do that with the high school, and I love it. I can read my whole packet online. So nothing has to be compiled into PDF form and mailed out, or mimeographed and mailed out. So you could use it for other committees too, like planning and zoning. Our packets could go online. So just an idea if you would consider that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Item number 6 is consent agenda.
Approval of minutes of a regular meeting held on June 20th, 2023 at 7 p.m.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion by McDowell, second by Holmes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0.
Bills, vouchers 143607 through 143796, drawn on Huntington National Bank, total $1,810,556.20.
Is there a motion to approve the bills?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Motion by Fisher, second by McDowell. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 7, consider passing resolutions as follows. A, amending the personnel authorization per Administrator Nabel, given that he's not here. Our Director of Finance, Chris Conway, will make the presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. Amending this personnel authorization, just as a heads up, gives you what our full-time equivalents will be in the departments. The one I'm going to read off, just kind of some high points, the ones that are changing. Currently, the city administrator is listed as administrator/finance director, so we would just remove finance director. We would change our human resource coordinator from part-time to full-time. The accounts and finance department would add that role of finance director to it. The fire and rescue department would not have any changes in their personnel, but their grant funded positions would go from 0 to 5. The police department would change their lieutenants to 2 full-time, but increase their sergeants to 9 full-time. They would take their current administrative full-time assistant, change it to a records division assistant that's part-time. Add a new position of administrative assistant / communications assistant or coordinator. Now, the administrative assistant portion of that would be to the chief of police, but the communication coordinator would be citywide. They would help with the communications from all departments to get out to residents should there need to be any. And the grant-funded positions in the police department are going from 0 to 5. All the other departments will stay the same staffing levels. So I would like approval of this resolution.
All right, is there a motion to amend the personnel authorization?
I'll make that motion to amend personnel authorization.
Motion by Fisher,
Second?
second by McDowell. Do we have any questions or comments?
Director Conway, I do have a question. You said under police, so there's one for administrative assistant / communications assistant?
Correct, that'd be a full-time position.
Okay,
So it would work as administrative assistant in a kind of part-time capacity to the chief of police, but the communication part would be a citywide communicator. We need to get out alerts to the public from water department regarding a boil order or a Nixle alert for road closure. That would be the person all department heads could go to get the word out to residents.
got it. So it's one full-time position with split duties reporting directly to the chief.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions? My question is about the personnel changes in the police department. How does that impact operations with the lieutenants and sergeants?
So, thank you, Mayor. We were previously allocated for 3 lieutenants. We are only filling that to 2, and that's gonna stay constant. We don't need that extra 3rd spot there. What we do need is an additional spot as a sergeant role. Part of the COPS grant that we filed for was an increase in our street crimes unit detective cadre. We need supervision in there for span of control issue. We want to make sure we're in line with our national standards and protocols for span of control. We can't have one supervisor supervising 10, 12, whatever people. It becomes problematic. So the increase is going to go through selection. We'll go into that position as a sergeant in charge of the street crimes unit.
Oh, okay. Any other questions? All right. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 7B, improvement under Illinois Highway Code 2023 Road Alley Program per Director Roberts.
Thank you, sir. Attached is a required IDOT resolution for the utilization of motor fuel tax funds. This funds will be used for the engineering and the construction for the 2023 road and alley program. Staff requests and recommends approving the IDOT resolution for expenditure of $745,100 from the MIP fund. Funding for this project is a budgeted item within the fiscal year 24 MIP budget.
Is there a motion to
I'll make that motion.
motion by Holmes,
Second?
second by McDowell? Any questions or comments? One question, do these funds, are they assigned to a particular area? That,
For the project itself,
yes,
that will be listed here a little bit later.
Okay.
We have a bid award that's within, up for approval for council. And within that, there's a packet, listing of all the various roads that we're presenting under the project.
okay. All right, thank you.
I was just gonna ask how, it's 1 mile? 1
I
mile,
believe so.
1 mile of alleys. That's, okay, that's not bad.
All right, we have a motion. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 7C, adoption of the 2022 Lake County All Natural
Lake County has updated the all natural hazard mitigation plan. Adopting the updated plan is a requirement for the city to maintain our eligibility for federal disaster mitigation grant. The all natural hazard mitigation plan also provides credits for communities that participate in FEMA's community rating system, which reduces flood cost insurance to the resident. An executive summary is attached, our summary of the plan is attached for your review in this document. Staff requests and recommends approval of the resolution. A full copy of the plan will be available on the Lake County website.
At lakecountyil.gov or what's the Lake County website?
I believe it's .gov. You can go to the public works site and we have a link to that.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the adoption of the 2022 Lake County All Natural Hazard Mitigation Plan?
So moved.
Motion by Holmes,
Second.
second by McDowell. Questions or comments? All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 7D, appointing an authorized agent for IMRF per Director Conway.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. The attached IMRF Notice of Appointment of Authorized Agent changes the city's primary contact for Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund from David Nabel to myself. This action removes David Nabel from the responsibility he's been taking care of while he's been doing the dual role of City Administrator and Finance Director. I recommend approval of a resolution adopting the authorization.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Chris Conway as authorized agent
Is there a
for
second?
IMRF.
Second.
Second by, a motion by Fisher and second by Frierson. Any questions or comments? I know that they're doing the same with in the Illinois Municipal League. I was at a board meeting this week in Park Forest, and they are hiring an authorized person to handle the IMRF because the president or executive director of the Illinois Municipal League handles both functions, so,
So it's just housekeeping.
yes. All right. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item 8, consider passing ordinance as follows. 8A, authorizing and approving an agreement with the HR2U Inc. for HR consulting services for the city of Zion per Administrator Nabel.
Actually, I'll cover this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I talked to David earlier today.
Thank you. I thought you were telling me I forgot something that last session. So instead of Administrator Nabel, Commissioner Fisher, Mayor Pro Temp, my stunt double, is
Stunt double.
going to
So,
cover this.
just very briefly, with the departure of Darlene Pickett as our HR coordinator, we have a need to fill this role. David has been doing some searching for a replacement and have not found somebody for permanent, but we are looking at contracting with this person. Forgive me if I don't know her name off the top of my head, but she's a very experienced HR person working with municipalities. And she will be working with us in the near term to fill this role and also to help us identify a permanent person that will fill our HR needs. So I would recommend that we approve this agreement.
All right.
So
Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Fisher,
Second.
second by Commissioner Holm. Any questions or comments?
So it says for consulting services, I'm not seeing any rate or term. Is that just something?
There is a rate, it's an hourly rate of $110 an hour. So it's an as needed.
And so it's listed as a corporation, but you mentioned an individual.
Yes.
Is there a resume or some sort of background on this individual that we're going to be working with?
I'll look into it and see if we can get that for you.
So you said a rate of 110?
Yep.
That's what I was told today.
And when are they looking to start?
I believe probably August 1st.
And do we know how many hours we're allotting for?
No, off the top of my head, I do not know. We would have to check with Mr. Nabel when he gets back.
Any additional questions? I'd also like just to take a moment for those of you that didn't have an opportunity to meet Darlene Pickett. She did a fantastic job as our Human Resources Director when she came in. And I met her several years ago. We happened to attend the same church, and she helped me get involved with she wanted to get involved with my campaign. I'd never met her before. She was working at the school system, working with the school system, and had extensive HR background with a huge company for over 20 years. And the work she did for the city, working with our department heads, was just absolutely phenomenal. We miss her. We're going to miss her tremendously, but we wish her well as she is taking on retirement, and I believe moving from the city of Zion at some point. But just wanted to acknowledge what she's done for us over the years, and I know all the department heads feel the same about the work that she did for us. So thank you, Darlene. If you're watching, if you're listening, if you're not, I'll tell you in person. All right. We had first and second. Do we had a roll call yet?
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Nay.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 4-1. Item number 8B, regarding the disposition of surplus property per Director Roberts.
Thank you, sir. Included with the attached, a purchase agreement and is a trade-in value of $7,500 for 1996 brush stripper currently owned by the city. This piece of equipment is required to be placed in surplus status in order to be utilized as a trade-in for a new purchase of a brush stripper. Staff is recommending and requesting the approval of the 1996 Morbar brush stripper to be declared surplus. Funding for the purchase of a new brush stripper is a budgeted item within the fiscal year capital.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Holmes, second by Fisher. Any questions or comments? Director Roberts, can you explain to me and some of our audience what a brush chipper is?
At least don't make me say brush stripper.
You gotta say it 3 times.
Struggling there.
3 times,
So
not
when we
believe.
take down a tree, that's what we put the logs and everything in, and it chips it up.
Okay,
It's a big one.
all right. Any other
You
questions?
ever seen Fargo?
Yes. Oh, if I'm not careful, you'll ask me to use it, right? All right, now I know. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item 8C, regarding the disposition of surplus property per Chief Barton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. I respectfully request the following vehicle be declared as surplus property and approved to be auctioned through Clinton Auto Auction or possibly used for training exercises with the Zion Fire Department. It's a black and white 2013 Dodge Charger with the VIN number of, if you'd like me to read it.
No.
Okay. Retired Squad 17. The Dodge Charger was used in the patrol capacity. The vehicle is a high mileage and requires extensive repair. To remain serviceable, due to the diminished value and high cost of repair, it is my recommendation that because of this vehicle, it's reached its serviceable life. It should now be used for vehicular extraction, jaws of life, or vehicle fire training exercises for the fire department, or sold at auction.
All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by McDowell,
Second.
second by Frierson. Any questions or comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor King.
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 8D, approving a plat of re-subdivision for the Popeyes property in the city of Zion per Director Roberts.
Thank you, sir. The ordinance you have in front of you is for the plat that the council approved last meeting. As a housekeeping measure, we need to do an ordinance along with that. If you remember that, that plat included a dedication for the Yale Court new road and the easement, water easement, utility easement for the new water main that ran through there. So staff requests and recommends approval of the ordinance for plat of re-subdivision for the property.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this ordinance on plat of re-subdivision.
A motion by Fisher,
Second.
second by Holmes. Any questions or comments? Other than probably the big question that we get asked quite a bit, when's Popeyes gonna open? All right, I've
I
heard.
tried to talk to the superintendent today. He was not on site. As far as I know, they're still shooting for the 1st of August.
All right,
And delaying some equipment, so.
okay.
They still have parking lot and tie into the Yale Court. And then, of course, their staff. How are they doing inside?
Oh, this had come on.
Yeah, at first, some of you that weren't here last meeting, it's when we talked about it, the property, the entire property is being developed with an extra road to help with traffic going in there and also for future development. Water lines were replaced and updated because some of the water lines that were replaced were installed, according to Director Roberts, about the year I was born in 1916. Is that correct?
I thought you were fine.
05? Okay. I'm trying to cheat a couple years. All right, we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor King.
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 9, discussion, authorization, and approval. 9A, consider approval of all other fund budgets per Administrator Nabel. And that goes to Director Conway this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. We've been trickling, this is the last of the budgets we'll have to approve. They've been trickling into you, and I guess it's probably my fault because David had to slow down so he could explain the history of the entire city. So I could understand for the future. So that's why, this is the end of them. This is it. This takes care of all of our little, really, this is all of them. So the list here, the ones which have no major changes from the fiscal year are the E911, the Zion Newport Fire Station, the Emergency Service Rescue Fund, Fire Protection Fund, IMRF Fund, FICA Fund, TIF 6, TIF 4, Lake Mount Cemetery, Liability Insurance, Local Law Enforcement, Industrial Development, and the Hotel Motel Tax. Those are all pretty much prior year. Taxes come in, and it's pretty much just sustained within those districts or those funds. Ones that did have some changes from prior year, the first would be TIP 5 Trumpet Park. This budget includes an increase in the legal and consultants that will be needed for the purchase and sale of property within the TIF needed for the proposed development that's going on out there. TIF 7, there's a dramatic decrease in expenses with the end of the incentive payments to Rogers Automotive. TIF 3, this is the end of this TIF, so all final projects, including the major infrastructure changes, are being completed. Once everything is done, a surplus will be declared. It'll go back to Lake County for distribution back to the taxing districts. Waste collection has an increase in the fees we are charging to cover the rate proposed increase in fees, which is just budgeting purposes only, to cover the rate increase on the new contract that we pay. It has been 10 years since we've had any rate increase with waste collection. The Drug Traffic Prevention Fund has an increased revenue, and that reflects the donation we received from Winthrop Harbor. Their K-9, they had a K-9 grant come through that they were not gonna use. They were nice enough to reach out to us and have given us the K-9 funds for use for our K-9 program. And the final one is the SSA, the Brighton Ponds. This is a brand-new fund. And basically, the budget matches the tax levy with exactly what that subdivision has proposed for the expenses for the year. And that would take care of the budget for all funds for the entire city. So
Okay.
I would request approval of this last budgeted funds.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve all of their fund budgets.
A motion by Fisher,
Second?
second by McDowell. Any questions or comments?
I have a couple questions. Director Conway, can you speak to the variance for the fiscal year '23 projected actuals and the fiscal year '24 budget?
A specific fund, a specific line item?
For the E911, I'm sorry.
That is all, what are you looking for? Like the jet ski reimbursement, or are you?
I'm looking at the disparity between the budget versus the projected actuals.
The last jet ski reimbursement, as far as that actual revenue being down, is just not recorded yet. The financials are behind, so once all the journal entries from the reconciliation for this fiscal year are done, that revenue will catch back up and the capital outlays will all be reclassified back into this fund. This E911 fund, or the 911 taxes, the 911 taxes on your phone bills all go to one location and we get reimbursement for our capital outlays. So it's just a timing issue.
Got it, okay. Okay.
The budget for that fund is based on what the jet ski budget was for the year and what they have approved for us for capital expenditures out of that fund.
Got it. Okay. And then related to the note under waste collection fund for compost dumping and leaf collection. And this may be for you, Director Roberts. So it says due to anticipated discontinuation of service. Is that accurate?
The leaf collection, yes, this fall, under the new contract with the garbage company, the leaf collection, this fall will be the last leaf collection.
Okay.
The vacuum.
Right.
The bag is still within the contract.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions, comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 9B, consider zoning docket 22-Z-17 and ordinance requesting a variance to section 102-203, 3B, and 10-12A of the Zion Municipal Code to allow a pool in the front yard and to allow a 6-foot fence in lieu of a 4-foot fence around the pool for property at 1707 Joanna Avenue per Director Ianson. Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Velazquez is seeking a variance in section 102-203-3D and 10-12A of the Zion Municipal Code to allow a pool in the front yard and to allow a 6-foot fence instead of a 4-foot fence around the pool. Due to the shape of the lot and position of the home, there is no rear yard to utilize. Front yard is considered the west side, which faces the unimproved area of Lion Avenue. The 6-foot fence will not be installed past the south building line. At the July 6, 2023 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, we recommend to approve the variance request.
Is there a motion to approve the variance request?
So moved.
So moved by Frierson.
Second.
Second by Holmes. Questions or comments? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just to reiterate, Director Ianson, so this 6-foot fence, it's not gonna be obstructing any of the traffic on 173 based on where it sits on the property, is that
No,
correct?
so it's going to be set way back. Most not even going to pass the building line of the house.
Okay. And the condition for this variance is that it's the 6-foot fence as well as the pool, and it'll be above ground.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 9C, consider zoning docket 22-Z-18, an ordinance requesting a variance to sections 102-206A1 of the Zion Municipal Code to allow alterations to a conforming garage for property at 2102 Elam Avenue per Director Ianson. Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Suarez is seeking a variance to section 102-206A1 of the Zion Municipal Code to allow alterations to declaration to be a non-conforming garage. Currently, the garage does not meet the setback requirements. It was issued a permit to replace the garage roof shingles and siding, and realized the majority of the roof and the rafters were rotten and also need to be replaced. He presently cannot park a vehicle in the garage due to the height of the door. He's requesting to raise the roof to accommodate a larger door. At the July 6, 2023 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, the recommendation to approve the variance request.
Is there a motion to accept the variance?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Frierson, second by Holmes. Any questions or comments?
Director Ianson, so with this setback and the work already being underway, are they going to be able to salvage the work that's done, or how are they going to address that setback?
Well, the setback's not going to change. That's going to be in the same location.
Okay.
Just the height of the roof for the door, which must have been a garage that was built in the 60s or 70s?
Even farther back than that.
Okay, yeah, had to understand that, because I had a garage at one point that was built in the 60s, and the newer vehicles, SUVs are a little higher now, so had to get a new garage. All right, we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. I drove by there today and was wondering what was going on there, so that answers the question. Yeah. Item number 9D, tabulation of bids 2023 HMA patching program per Director Roberts.
Thank you, sir. Attached are the bid results for the 2023 HMA patching program. The lowest responsible bidder was Schroeder Asphalt Services, Inc., of Huntley, Illinois. Staff requests and recommend awarding this project to Schroeder Asphalt Services in the amount of $180,400. Funding for this project is a budgeted item in the approved fiscal year 24 motor fuel tax fund. Copies of the bid tabs will be posted on the city's website.
Is there a motion to accept the tabulation of bids?
Make the motion.
Motion by Holmes,
Second.
second by Fisher. Any questions or comments?
Quick question. We've used Schroeder before, correct?
They actually did our road program last year.
Right.
And then the year before that, they did the patching program. So they've been here a couple of years.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? You took my question, Commissioner Fisher.
Sorry.
All right. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 9D, tabulation of bids, 2023 Road and Alley Program per Director Roberts.
Thank you again, sir. Attached are the bid results for the 2023 road program. The lowest responsible bidder was Peter Baker and Sons of Libertyville, Illinois, for the base and the alternate bids. Staff request and recommend awarding the base bid and alternate one bid for this project to Peter Baker and Sons in the amount of $900,542.80. The funding for this project was an approved item within the fiscal year 24 motor fuel tax and the street and bridge funds. Copies of the tabulations will be posted on the city website. And if you look at the second page on there, Sarah will answer the question you asked earlier. The phase bid included Enoch Avenue, 22nd Street to 23rd Street. Eshwell Avenue, 21st Street to 23rd Street. 27th Street, Edina to Elam. Shiloh Boulevard, that would be the north side, Elam, Edina Avenue to Elam Avenue. And then the alley west of Jethro from 23rd Street to 24th Street. And alternate one will include Ezra Avenue, 29th Street to 30th Street.
All right, thank you for that information, Director Roberts. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
A motion by Fisher,
Second.
second by Holmes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll, or unless we have any questions or comments. Questions from our commissioners? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor King?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 9F, consider appointment of Christopher Fisher to fill position of Director, SWALCO Board of Directors, City of Zion, and Jacqueline Holmes to fill position of alternate Director, SWALCO Board of Directors, City of Zion, per Mayor McKinney. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion by McDowell, second by Frierson. Questions or comments? All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor King?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 9G, consider filling one sergeant vacancy and requesting the name of the next qualified candidate from the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners eligibility list per Chief Barton.
Again, thank you, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. My request is to fill an available sergeant position to oversee the street crimes unit. This is a new position created. This position will oversee and directly supervise the street crimes unit along with the ATF task force officer. So 5 positions. I respectfully request the approval of the position. The creation will allow for proper span of control of officers assigned to the SCU and the ATF. Additionally, the position will be the backup supervisor for the investigations commander if vacation is taken. I have reviewed this request with Administrator Nabel. This growth position was planned for in the budget and is part of the strategic plan associated with the procurement of the COPS grant. The Board of Fire and Police Commissioners have released the next available name from the final eligibility list.
Is there a motion to approve to consider the sergeant's vacancy position?
So moved.
Motion by McDowell,
Second.
second by Frierson. Any questions, comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor King?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Departmental commentary, Director Ianson.
Thank you, Your Honor. The gentleman was inquiring about 928 Shiloh over there today.
Yes.
I don't have all the details with me, but the gentleman left me a message earlier today, and I haven't had an opportunity to return this call, but I'll look into it and get you a status update so you know what's going on.
And I also know we've had extensive knowledge about that property, that when I was building commissioner, that the building was being redone. And I think there was a fire, if my memory serves me correctly, and the gentleman that owned the building didn't have insurance at that time. And since that time, he has been in the process of salvaging the building and getting it back up to being in livable conditions. But I know that I've talked with our police chief too about monitoring that area because we've had graffiti and some other unfortunate incidents there.
My apologies, I was thinking of a different property, but yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So it's a work in progress, even though,
Well, it's been about 3 or 4 years.
yes.
So It's a long time, and the temptation for kids to go in there and have mischief is too tempting.
Absolutely. We have that with some other buildings in town. One of the buildings is being demolished here across from Central Middle School here, but the item with this particular person not having insurance and then trying to get the finances to be able to rebuild the structure has taken some time. So we apologize. We apologize on his behalf for taking so long, because our directors, our inspectors go around every week and they inspect properties throughout the city. And there's been a large change in properties here over the last 4 years. At one point, we had over 900 vacant homes here, and now we're well under 150, and a lot of those properties are being fixed up right now or looking to be purchased so that they can be renovated. So thank you for coming and talking to us about this. Director Roberts.
Thank you, sir. You tried to steal some of my thunder earlier. So I was going to give an update on the project, the TIF project, TIF 3. The current project is around 95% complete. All the roads have been resurfaced or reconstructed. So that included the north of the T alley north of 33rd Street between Elijah and Sheridan. Parts of 33rd. Colgate was totally redone, reconstructed. Resurfaced was 33rd from east of Sheridan all the way to the end, which included down by the senior centers. 34th Street was partially reconstructed also. We had installed over 3,000 linear feet of new 8-inch water main. They are working on landscaping and cleaning it up. Yale Court, which is a new road which connected in front of Popeyes, that's what we were talking about earlier. Our portion of that is complete now. Popeyes is doing the tie-in from Sheridan to our new road, and then there'll be an entrance off Sheridan and Popeyes and to our new cut-through road. Landscaping is being done now, so they're seed and blanking in all the areas. One of the major things that still needs to be done is there's about 2,500 linear feet. All the existing sanitary lines are going to be lined. That's where they put in kind of like a sock and inflate it, and then put a chemical to it, and it becomes a new piece of PVC. Reestablishing that lines, so it'll be an upgrade to the existing lines.
Okay, and along with that, development of that area, back in, I want to say, April or May, our Economic Development Director, Sonalita Bronson, our City Administrator, David Nabel, and myself went out to Las Vegas to the ICSC convention where we talked to businesses about coming to Zion, and because that property is being prepared, there are a lot of companies that are now interested in moving in next to that Popeye. So there's going to be more development there. Not only there, but also we're looking at the ball field, which has been vacant for several years. We've had several developers that are really interested in that development at developing the ball field because of the Popeyes there, and at some point the widening of Green Bay Road, which should take place in the next several years. So we're putting ourselves in a position to bring in more businesses to also help our tax base out, and at some point that's going to help reduce all of our property taxes. So let's see, Chief Street.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I thought I was going to get through another meeting without having to talk, but I guess that's not.
No such luck.
Okay. Just one brief thing tonight. So kind of a recap of the July 4th week activity with regards to some fireworks incidents that we did have. We had at least one garage fire that was started by some debris, and at least one area of brush that we suspect was from debris from fireworks. Luckily, no major injuries here, but there were multiple throughout the county. Some of them actually got some pretty good press, and some of them didn't. But we just wanted to put that reminder out there. I know we're trying to crack down a little bit more than in the past, but there's still a lot of that going on, and we would ask our residents and visitors just to use that extra caution and obey the city ordinance on fireworks, because it's just not worth it, both for the fire aspect and the health and safety aspect. And that's the only reminder I have for tonight.
Okay, and as Chief Street was talking about, we put in an ordinance 2 years ago, fireworks are illegal in the state of Illinois, especially the commercial grade that you hear going off that rattles your homes and disrupts your evening. And it's actually a federal crime to bring fireworks across the borders, where they typically bring them in from Wisconsin or Indiana. And so we put the ordinance in. I know Chief Barton is going to talk about this a little bit, about the amount of citations that were handed out. But if you have that in your area, all you have to do is call the non-emergency line of the police department, report the address, and the police officers will come out to that address and warn the citizens. This ordinance has been in place for 2 years. And we've also sent out letters to the violators in the past that if they violate the ordinance, they get a letter prior to the 4th of July or Memorial Day letting them know that this ordinance is still enforced. And so this year, instead of providing warnings, we just started ticketing people. And the first violation is $250, the second is $500, and the third is $750. And I know we had one resident that was fined $250, and as the police drove off, they decided, well, we'll pop off another round, and they were fined, went back and had a $500 fine attached to it. So we're trying to make sure that our city, keeping our residents safe, but also being respectful of the space of all the citizens that live here. You have veterans that have PTSD, that when they hear the fireworks, it's not good. For the seniors, for people that are ill, that's its impact. For pets, I know my pet doesn't want to go out, hasn't wanted to leave the yard for the last week, since the 4th of July, or the last 2 weeks actually. So we're trying to make our city better, quieter, and just be respectful of our neighbors. And we don't want to be a police state, so to speak, but we do think it's important that the laws of the state of Illinois and the city of Zion, the ordinances, that they are followed to the letter. Chief Barton?
Yeah, that's very much a factor. Quality of life is important, and I think that's well, I know that is one of the factors that has been raised at our community meetings that we've been hosting at the high school. Every community meeting that we've had, I've been approached about fireworks by a different citizen each time, at least one in that meeting. So the concern is real, and we try to be diplomatic about the warnings, and we're going to move forward now with the citations as the code instructs. And so yeah, if you have issues on your block and you'd like to call us, let us know. On the major holidays, we do put out an extra few officers just for fireworks enforcement, and we will continue to do that probably for one more year until the news is spread wide and far. Just another thing, I know it's been on the national media's kind of cycle. Gun violence is a big issue in our communities, in all of our communities. It's not just afflicting us here in Zion, but everywhere. And I want to highlight some of the good work that our officers have continued to do. Our street crimes unit, along with our ATF, TFO, were successful in taking down an individual this last week that was selling switches, which are commonly referred to as switches, which will convert a semi-automatic Glock handgun to an automatic Glock handgun. And we had purchased it was an operation fairly significant. This person was a violent offender of other violent crime, but additionally, he was selling these Glock switches. And it's just, I want to be thankful to the Lake County Sheriff's Office, who formed the SIG group, the Special Investigations Group, which we're a part of, and our officers were involved in this takedown. And post arrest, this individual instructed the officers that interviewed him that we were lucky, and that he was Unfortunately, he was unarmed in that event because he planned on shooting it out if it was taken into custody. So thankful for a safe resolve to that case, and frankly, just getting another perpetuator of gun violence off our streets. One other thing, we had a fire over at the North Shore Sanitary, whatever that building was, I don't remember what that was.
Biofuel recycling, biosolids recycling plant.
Yep. So it was a long-term event for both fire and police, and it's just a reminder to sign up for Blackboard Connect if you live in or around the community. We'd like you to just enter in your information so we can broadcast, which we did via Blackboard Connect, to advertise that that road is going to be closed for whatever length of time because of the apparatus that were out there. So just a reminder, sign up for Blackboard Connect. It's on the city's website, on the fire department's Facebook page. Find links on how to do that. And Justin has offered his services to walk you through the sign up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really valuable because if anything comes across, you get a text to your phone as well as something to your email address. And when you get those, we don't want to inundate our residents with information that is not crucial or critical. So we use it rarely, and we're trying to find different ways to be able to get out information to our citizens without bombarding their cell phones with spam information, as we all tend to get when we sign up for things. Chief Street, yes.
To tag along that a little bit, if you or anybody watching's numbers have changed, it's important to either update that on your own or let us know. The last couple blasts that we've done, we've noticed a lot of numbers that didn't go through properly. So if you change your phone numbers or email addresses, we'd like that to be updated.
All right, thank you, Chief Street. And Chief Barton, thanks for the work that's done with the Streets Crimes Unit and the switches. Whenever I hear the word switches, it takes me back to another time and place when you had to go pick out your punishment from a tree. Yeah. Still scared. Director Conway.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, I don't have anything as exciting as them. Can we go around the table this time? Because every time they talk about guns and fireworks and we just do money. It's kind of boring, but I wanted to say thank you for the new phone system. It really is helping in our department. We now have an auto attendant. So when people call and want to make a payment for their water bill or whatever, before they even get to the staff and use valuable time, they can push an option on the phone. It takes them directly to make phone payments online. A waste management or garbage issue, they don't get to the staff first. So when you guys went through that whole process of approving the new phone system, it's working, and I appreciate it. And thank you, Clerk Spooner, for organizing all of our departments.
Yeah, the new phone system has been terrific going through it. And I think Director Roberts mentioned it too, even on our website. We're trying to update our website when people are looking on the city pages for information that might not directly relate to the city. For example, waste management, you can just click on a link and go right to that site. And we're trying to do this with all of the taxing bodies, the 7 taxing bodies within our city, to make sure that instead of going through countless web pages, once you look on one site and you're linked to the other taxing bodies to be able to obtain information about what's going on in the cities, the school districts, the park district, the school districts, and things of that nature, the library. So we can't continue to try to improve our operations and be able to communicate and get information to our residents more effectively and efficiently.
Mayor, on July 12th, we had a rededication of a historical landmark in the city of Zion. That's Esther's Well. I know, Mayor, you were in attendance, and I know Commissioner Fisher was in attendance, maybe some others were. So thanks for being there. This historical landmark was in a dilapidated state for, I really don't know how many years. Maybe, Mayor McKinney, you remember when it was filled in, back in the 20s or something like that.
I was there.
Yeah. But it's been in that condition for quite some time, and what what was really spectacular, I think, is so many people coming together to see that restoration take place. So the Zion Historical Society was kind of the spearhead of the project in cooperation with the Park District, because it's on Park District property, and all these entities came together to see that space restored. It's a beautiful garden, beautiful fountain now, and if anybody has the opportunity to stop by just west of Shiloh Pool, you can see the restored Esther's Well.
And it was particularly impressive that night that it rained cats and dogs, literally. And we had probably close to 200 people, probably more than 200 people there for the ribbon cutting ceremony. So it was pretty great attendance. So thanks for the Historical Society and the Park District. Again, all of our taxing bodies trying to work together to make our city better. Commissioner Frierson.
I'll just say thank you, Director Conway, for the feedback. It's nice to hear that some of the decisions that are made up here and how they impact the staff. So glad to hear the feedback on that. And then also, I just wanted to reiterate to the chief, thank you for mentioning that bust. I have been able to take a look at what those switches can do. And it's definitely not the switches that you recall from your time back in the 20s.
Yeah.
And they really are quite dangerous. So that's a big kudos to you and the department.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Commissioner Frierson, while you're at it, I think there's an important event coming up on the 11th that you might want to talk about.
There is. So we have for our youth golf outing that we host annually for a local nonprofit called the Coalition for Healthy Communities. And then so this goes to support our youth programming at the high school, both the main campus and New Tech, and it also supports our Zion Benton Leadership Academy. So if you would like to sign up, you can go to Shepherd's Crook website, and there's a Golf Genius link where you can sign up. You can sponsor a hole, or you could get a foursome. There is a steak and shrimp dinner that will be served. So yeah, look forward to having you out. And you don't have to be a great golfer or even a good golfer.
I'll attest to that.
I speak from experience. I'll be there. So think about it. It's August 11th at 2 p.m.
Yeah, and if you would, just spend a little bit of minute. Commissioner Frierson is the president of the Coalition of Healthy Communities. I serve as the vice president. And it's a group that really tries to do a lot in the community, and we're trying to get more information about how a couple of years ago we had a block party, and we're trying to do more of those things to get people out and connected again. We have a relatively small city, I'd say compared to Chicago, 25,000 people, and we're trying to get people off of these a little bit more and get back to being in contact with your neighbors. So that you know a little bit about your neighbors, you can talk to each other about what it takes to keep your neighborhood safe and clean. And the coalition just does a lot of things in terms of health screening, working with the youth and taking kids on trips, which we've been involved with to help improve our community.
Thank you for that prompt, Mr. Mayor. That does remind me, we've been doing listening sessions throughout the summer. I believe we're at 5 or 6 now. And so this is a supplement to what's been happening at the high school. But with these listening sessions, we've been going out to residents and meeting them where they're at and getting feedback. And ultimately what that'll lead into is a survey that we'll be doing throughout the latter part of this summer. And that is a study that we'll be putting together, partnering with the University of Illinois Extension. And some of the things that we hope to get out of that are more resources or additional grant funding for services that have been cut throughout the city. And so we've just been going directly to residents and getting that feedback. So we've been to Shiloh, we've had some sessions in Spanish at Violet's, we've met with some of the daycares around town. We even had an opportunity to talk with our youth at the summer work program. So it's been a lot of great information. And so if you see researchers out and about, be nice to them, don't turn them away. We have 3 that we've hired, and they'll be out through the rest of the summer. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I'd also say if you know any young adults, and we work with the school system, the middle school and high school that are interested in our youth leadership program, I think it's crucial that we continue to engage youth in mentoring and productive activities, because at some point, we're all getting older. Why does everybody look at me when I say that?
Because you're talking. That's why,
Yeah. And we really want our youth to understand what it takes to keep a city nice, clean, and what we do in terms of what our involvement is. And we're working on with the high school to have junior commissioners so that they can understand how the city works. And a lot of time, I think Chief Barton, you talked about it, or maybe it was Director Conway, how people think all of the taxing bodies, if there's a problem with the park district, you call the mayor. They're all different taxing bodies, and we're trying to continue to educate our citizens, our residents, that if there's an issue with the taxing, the park district, they have an executive director and a staff there that they've been great to work with. But any issues that we have, we talk to them about them, and any issues that have our city related, they talk to us about it. So all of the taxing bodies talking about the issues in town, we all share the same goal, is to make our place, our city, a great place to live, work, and play. And so we communicate. I can really say that there's not anything going on here that we don't know about, because we're communicating. And that's what we want our residents to do, not only with the taxi, with us. If there's an issue, we appreciate you coming today and talking about 928 Shiloh. We're aware of it and we are addressing it. Sometimes things move slowly, but we are aware of the issues and trying to get them resolved. Commissioner Holmes.
So I wanted to sort of dovetail into the very thing that you're talking about. When the city of Zion has our council meetings, we see a lot of people come. But when we have our township meetings, I think people should try to be more interested in attending as well, because I think some of the things, not only that are like published in the Zion Quarterly, some of the things that are happening around town, it gets lost in the knowledge transfer. So one of the things, the Queen Bees of Zion Red Hat Society, there's an event coming up on July 20th. We'll have a picnic at the Zion Park District. But like Mayor McKinney was saying, when there's issues or comments or concerns talking about the city, it may be something that has to be addressed by the park district. But you don't know until you know. There's another Zinnia and Monarch Festival coming up in August. But my main point in just bringing this up again is I'm recommending, if you're interested in attending the Zion Township meetings as well, we have monthly meetings that start at 6 o'clock on the third Tuesday of the month. That's all.
Yeah, and our Zion Township, they deal with a lot of the social service issues within the community. And they deal a lot with our seniors. I know every year that they send out, for people that are registered our senior share, they send out little birthday gift cards. Since I moved into that category, I get little birthdays from Culver's or for CJ's or from It's All Good. But they help our seniors a lot. If you're having trouble with any kind of issue, whether it's rent issues, health issues, call the township and they can put you in touch with the right entity to be able to provide you with the help that you need. Also, another organization that works is the 211, the United Way. It's been a service that they started during the pandemic. If you call 211, whether you're having or you know someone that's having mental health issues, they can put you in touch with the right person. I know during the pandemic, when people were being laid off, the county in 211 also had rental assistance, mortgage assistance, things of that nature, to help people to be able to pay their bills. So there's not an issue that's too big for the township to deal with, to manage, or to be able to call this number 211, and our police and fire departments hand those out when they go around the city. Just call that number if you need assistance with anything. Commissioner Fisher.
I don't have anything for this meeting. Just glad to see everybody come out. Thank you
Yeah.
all for coming to the meeting tonight.
Yeah, it's great to see the new faces, and with any questions that you might have after, we're always available after to take any questions that you might have. And one of the issues, now that I'm talking, will be on September 5th, starting in September 5th, our garbage services will change. I've received some calls about that information. In Zion, right now, if your recycling goes to the front of your house, and in September, starting September 5th, your garbage will be moved to the front of your house. And a lot of people have been, I think, a little upset with it, or the changes in it. We're going to be sending out information to address this and get all the facts about it, but it's not a decision that the city made. The contractor that Waste Management, that handles our garbage services, decided that they're starting to change their operations because of they're doing everything by they're going to eliminate some of their people and be able to do everything automated. So in the alleys, we have the utility poles in which their trucks, as they're lifting the garbage cans, sometimes it impacts the utility poles because they can't be changed. They can't be put underground. They can't be hidden. They can't be heightened. So they're going to be moving that out. Also, it's a benefit because our alleyways cannot take the brunt of the weight of the garbage trucks. I know you're shaking your head there. And so as part of it, and because we're moving to the automation, people are concerned about, will there be debris on the street? There's debris on the street on recycling days, and I know that some of the recycling operators will pick up the debris that's on the street. And the garbage cans, one of the things that will happen is you won't be able to leave your garbage can at the front of the street. Within 24 hours, you have to move your garbage back to an area that's secured behind your house. And people ask, well, why didn't you talk to other waste management companies about taking over the contract? And all the waste management contractors that we talked to said the same thing. They're moving to automation. They're going to move it out of the alley and into the front yards. So it's going to be a change for some of us. And one thing that we understand as human beings and in government, people typically don't like change. And so we're going to be putting out fact sheets here recently, as I've been getting emails about this, to try to answer all the questions that our residents have about it. I will say this, with recycling moving to just twice a month, you can call Waste Management and get a bigger recycling can at no charge. That's one of the things that they're doing. And also, if you need a bigger garbage can, the Waste Management company will provide that with our residents as well. So I've dealt a lot with the recycling questions thus far, because some people say I need to have it every week, but they are willing to provide bigger cans for recycling. And one thing that I learned in listening to one of the recycling experts talk about is your recycling shouldn't be placed in plastic bags. I was doing that for a while, trying to eliminate the spread of recycling throughout the street, but they should just be put in the cans. And again, it's not a perfect process. And I know that on recycling days tomorrow in my neighborhood, I'll be walking around with my dog and picking up some of the recycling that might have blown away. So just bear with us as we deal with these changes with our garbage service. The last thing that I want to say before I make any announcements is if there's any issues that are going on in your neighborhood, you can talk to our police department on an anonymous basis, so that you don't have to feel like it's not like the police are going to show up your house if you've reported something that's illegal going on with your neighbor. So Chief Barton, you can call the non-emergency line
Correct.
at the city of Zion, which I believe is 847-872-8000.
Yep.
And just sometimes ask for the sergeant on duty and say that you want to report something that's going on in your neighborhood. It's one of those things that we've tried to do in lieu of having what do you call the neighborhood safety programs? Neighborhood watch, is that we all have to be involved in watching our neighborhoods of any suspicious activities. And in most cases, you don't want to go out in these days and then usually, I'd say, approach your neighbor about issues. People have kind of a different train of thought about being approached about doing something that's maybe not right. So let the property authorities handle it unless you have a good talking relationship with your neighbors. But that number again is 847-872-8000 to be able to reach our police department about any issues going on in your neighborhood, and know that the reports that you turn in are anonymous. Item number 10 is announcements. On August 1st, we have a Zion City Council meeting at 7 o'clock. August 11th, as Commissioner Frierson talked about, we're going to have the 4-hour youth golf outing at Shepherd's Crook. It starts at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. It's only 9 holes, and then it's followed by a shrimp dinner later.
Do you want to mention the reschedule?
Yes.
I think it's August 6th.
August 6th also, our 4th of July was, good catch, thank you, Bob. Our 4th of July fireworks and show with a really amazing group was canceled due to weather at the time, and the band thought that the weather was going to impact the equipment they had and also the fireworks. So we canceled it, which wasn't very popular. Park District canceled it. It's a Park District function, and they rescheduled it for August 6th. And so come out to the Park District on that night, and the group that entertains that night was absolutely one of the most popular groups in the area. So come out, we'll get our fireworks on legally and have a great time. The last time we had this event, the park was absolutely packed. We have street vendors there that are serving food. It was a peaceful environment, and it reminded me so much of growing up in Zion, what it was like with the events that happened throughout the course of a year. People were there just enjoying each other and having a great time. In addition to that, I want to say this is kind of, it might be not a premature announcement, but we're looking to bring back the carnival that we've had in years for many years. And we have the support of our police chief that says, you know, this is something that's good for our community. We need to be doing these things to bring our people back out, bring them together. So we are working on trying to bring them back the 4th of July carnival, which was an icon and staple in our community for many years. So August 6th.
Bella Kane.
What's that?
Bella Kane.
Bella Kane is a terrific group. They play songs from just about every genre. And I talked to the lead singer. I was trying to talk them into being part of the group that night, but they said, no, thank you. They've heard me sing. Yeah, but they do a great job of entertaining, and they promise to put on a great show on August 6th, and that starts at, I want to say 7 o'clock? All right, and on August 15th, at 6 p.m. Zion Township Board meeting, which Commissioner Holmes talked about. And later that night, August 15th, there is the Zion City Council meeting. So I want to thank all of you for coming. If any of you...
August 5th, the electronics.
August 5th?
Is that the electronics recycling?
Oh, we're August 5th. Thank you very much. Is that Mary or was that Laura?
Laura.
All right. August 5th, we have our recycling day and electronics and tire recycling that's going to be held over at
28th and Galilee.
28th and Galilee. I was just saying if you could read my mind. Direction.
Tires, electronics, and bulk items.
Tires, electronics, and bulk items. And this is our, how many years have we had this now?
This is number 6, I believe.
this is our 6th year having it, and I've got to tell you, this is a time where people want to get rid of all of their trash that they've stored in their garage or in their basements. All you have to do is drive up, and it's usually unloaded by volunteers. You get rid of all the tires that are in your yard, but when you come, you have to produce a Zion driver's license or show your city sticker, have a city sticker on your car that shows that you are from Zion. But it's a great event. It's a great time that people are able to get rid of extra things that have been sitting around your garage for several years, and you can get rid of it. And we've also been looking to try to add to that and have one in the fall as well. So that's in the process.
It'll be 8 to noon.
8 to noon. So get up early, come on out to 28th and Galilee, and we'll put this out on Facebook. We'll have it on our city website as well. The August 5th is be the recycling, August 6th is Bella Kane, and then August 15th, city council meeting. All right, item
Mayor,
number,
on August 5th, the recycling, it specifically said no paint.
yes. Yes, and all of those specifics, thank you, Mary Lou, will be on our website in terms of what items that they will accept. All right, item number 11, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Frierson.
Second.
Second by Holmes. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.